Have you ever imagined a DVD or a Blu-ray that you wanted to see released by the WWE? For me, there has been a few concepts that could have been made into a home release, and I'm sure all us wrestling fans have had ideas for home media releases in the past that could have been made. And that's where I plan to step in. I want to share a few ideas and concepts for home releases with you over a few episodes. What will happen is I'll be putting together a sort of spin-off mini-series that I can include along with the wrestling home media reviews on the channel. And so with that said, I welcome all of you to episode 1 of Wrestling Home Media Fantasy Home Features. My first idea involves around Battle Royals. Don't know why, but since I've been a wrestling fan, I've strangely enjoyed Battle Royals, especially the Royal Rumble. I've already mentioned that. I suppose some may find these matches to be not entertaining, and you might say something along the lines of, oh, it's nothing, it's just a filler match and no more. But these matches have their fans, and they sometimes bring us memorable moments, and I've watched lots of Battle Royals or matches involving the over-the-top rope stipulation that have something special about them. That being the stipulation for the winner, titles being won, and even surprises here and there during the matches. And so, I'm going to go over matches that I would have in this Fantasy Home feature, and I've even put together a little front cover for this Fantasy Home release, as you can see here. I know, it's not a work of art, but it's still all imagination, so I hope you all like it. As for the title, no, I wasn't thinking of the Sylvester Stallone film of the same name. I went with that because of the term used in Battle Royals, over the top rope, but I decided to ditch the word rope and use the other three as the imaginative title. What I'll be doing is I'll bring up each match and very briefly explain why the belt should be in this imaginative feature. Keep in mind that they may not be the greatest choices for selections here, but it's either they were entertaining, the concept of certain matches, or it's due to interesting moments that occurred. I have selected a total of 20 matches along with 4 more as Blu-ray exclusives. Also, just to remind you, there will be matches I've picked that are not actual Battle Royals, but they do include the over-the-top rope stipulation. So without further ado, let's begin with the list of selected matches. Choice number 1 is the WWF vs NFL Battle Royal from WrestleMania 2. I chose this one as this is a Battle Royal that is quite well remembered of sorts, and I just thought it would be a good choice to have this in this imaginative feature. The match is fine, to me at least, and my favourite spot was when William the Refrigerator Perry shook Big John Studd's hand before pulling him over the top rope to eliminate him, and the bout ended when Andre the Giant eliminated Bret Hart to get the win. A fairly decent showing, this match here. Choice number 2, the main event of the Battle Royal at the Albert Hall in 1991. This match sometimes gets brought up when WWE looks back at past events that were held in the UK. The British Bulldog, of course the hometown hero, came out victorious in this one after eliminating Typhoon, who along with his partner Earthquake began to ambush Davey Boy Smith afterwards, and then Andre the Giant came down to make the save. A real fun Battle Royal, especially due to being held in the Royal Albert Hall in London. Choice number 3 is a WCW bout, the Battle Bowl from Starrcade 1991. Why did I select this one? Purely for the concept, which I admit is a bit of an oddity. With the Battle Bowl tournament, random guys teamed up in tag team matches known as the Lethal Lottery, and the winners advanced to the Battle Bowl main event. Given that this was held within 2 rings, that was a somewhat nice touch, so guys had a bit more space to do manoeuvres there. Yes, an unusual concept, but I feel the Battle Bowl is worthy of recognition here. Choice number 4, the King of the Hill Battle Royal from ECW. The original ECW rarely did Battle Royals, but this one's a bit interesting. It worked like a Royal Rumble match, but the added stipulations were that teams could enter together, and eliminations could also occur via pinfall. This one is a nice novelty of a Royal Rumble style match, so this is another selection I've picked purely because of the concept. Choice number 5, the main event of In Your House Final 4. This match was for the vacant WWF title, and like the ECW match just looked at, eliminations could also occur via pinfall and also submissions too, as well as over the top rope. Bret Hart, Vader, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker put on a good showing in this match, and all eliminations occurred over the top rope here, with Bret Hart winning the match and the WWF title. Another pick here, again due to the concept. Choice number 6, the Cruiserweight Battle Royal from Slamboree 1998. The winner here would challenge Chris Jericho for the Cruiserweight title straight afterwards, and this one I've picked because of the twist at the end of the bout. Seiko Pei won the match after Juventud Guerrera eliminated himself, and Seiko Pei then unmasked, and it turned out to be Dean Malenko, who Jericho had been feuding with at the time, under the mask. The surprise outcome was the key reason for this match to be chosen here. Choice number 7, the Gimmick Battle Royal from WrestleMania 17. I went with this one because of the nostalgia combined with, of course, the gimmicks. This was a very quick battle royal that ended in just over 3 minutes, I think. And the Iron Sheik was the one who came out victorious after he eliminated Hillbilly Jim. Maybe not the best battle royal, but the basis of it being an attraction match was what drew me towards selecting this one. Choice number 8, the 20-man battle royal from the June 6, 2002 episode of SmackDown. The winner of that match would become number 1 contender for the WWE title at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. A bit of a random selection, I admit, but why this one? Well, basically in this bout, it came down to Triple H and Hulk Hogan, and both men eliminated each other simultaneously, and this led to the match ending in a draw. So the fact of the match ending in a draw was what made me pick this one, and the match altogether was actually entertaining despite the finish. And just quickly, Triple H and Hogan squared off one-on-one to declare the number 1 contender, and the game picked up the win in that match. Choice number 9, the Battle Royal for the vacant Intercontinental title from Judgment Day 2003. I'm probably going to be told this is yet another weird choice here. Yes, it seems that is the case, but it's the way it ended that caught my attention. Here, Christian and Booker T were the last 2 in the match, and because the referee got taken out, Booker T eliminated Captain Charisma, who then took the Intercontinental title from Pat Patterson and hit Booker with it, and then proceeded to eliminate him to win the title. So Christian's cheating tactic is my main reason for this one to be picked. Choice number 10, the 20-man battle royal for the vacant World Heavyweight title from the January 13th, 2006 episode of SmackDown. Batista had to vacate the world title due to an injury, and Teddy Long set up a battle royal to crown a new champ. Kurt Angle from Raw showed up and took part in this bout, and after recovering from being put through the announce table earlier by Mark Henry, Angle eliminated the world's strongest man to win the title. This match does receive quite a bit of recognition online for memorable battle royals, and I agree with that. Choice number 11, the WWE vs ECW battle royal from the head-to-head WWE vs ECW special. Well, this one I chose because of the teaming concept, 10 WWE guys versus 10 ECW guys. This one is remembered pretty much because of the ending. Randy Orton eliminated Kurt Angle, and it appeared that WWE won the match, but Big Show, who was part of WWE, removed his shirt to show that he defected to ECW. Show then eliminated Orton to win the bout for ECW. I'm going to admit, I'm not too fond of the match ending, but despite this, the match overall is fine on the whole. Choice number 12, the Extreme Battle Royal from the June 13, 2006 episode of ECW on Sci-Fi. This one is not a classic, I admit, but it's the extreme part that made me think that this could be included, a battle royal with weapons being used. Another somewhat cool concept in my eyes. In this bout, whoever won would face John Cena at the Vengeance pay-per-view, and Big Show was the main dominant here as he eliminated every competitor except for the eventual winner, Sabu. Yes, it isn't the best battle royal, but again, I picked it because of the extreme concept. Choice number 13, the Tag Team Battle Royal from the April 2nd, 2007 episode of Raw. Following WrestleMania 23, Jonathan Coachman made John Cena and Shawn Michaels defend their tag team titles against other teams in a Battle Royal. They were joined by teams from Raw, SmackDown and ECW, and in the end, Cena and Michaels retained the titles after they eliminated King Booker and Finlay from SmackDown, but their win was cut short, as choice number 14 is the second Tag Team Battle Royal that followed the previous one just looked at. After Cena and HBK won the first Battle Royal, the coach then booked another Battle Royal with the titles on the line again, but in this one, Shawn Michaels eliminated his own partner and thus himself and Cena lost the titles. In the end, the tag titles were eventually won by the Hardy Boys. I wanted a tag team related Battle Royal included here, and I got 2 for the price of 1. Choice number 15, Triple H in an over-the-top rope gauntlet match from the January 21st, 2008 episode of Raw. This is the only match I've picked in the selection that isn't an actual Battle Royal. In this one, Triple H had to run the gauntlet to qualify for the 2008 Royal Rumble. After he eliminated both Snitsky and then Mark Henry, William Regal tried to do the honours of eliminating Triple H but failed to do so, and the King of Kings qualified for the Rumble. I picked this one just to include a match with the over-the-top rope rule that wasn't a Battle Royal. Choice number 16, the tri-branded Battle Royal from the 2008 draft. Of all the Battle Royals that took place on a WWE draft, this one is my favourite, but the main reason this one made the list is the result of one of the two picks that the winning brand got. Edge from SmackDown won the match, and he received the two draft picks. The first one turned out to be Mr. Kennedy, and the second one was the bigger shock. None other than Triple H, who was representing Raw in the Battle Royal. This is a good bout to watch, in my opinion, overall. Choice number 17 is from the August 22nd, 2008 episode of SmackDown. Another random pick here. The winner of this bout will qualify for the WWE Championship Scramble match at Unforgiven. Big Show, who wasn't competing here, sat at ringside for this one, and just minutes into the bout, he entered the ring and began clearing house, and then he left the ring after he was done. The match appeared to be a no contest, but the Brian Kendrick got the win due to his associate, Ezekiel Jackson, catching him when he was thrown over the top rope. That ending was surprisingly cool, so that's the reason why I went with this one. Choice number 18 is again from SmackDown, from the June 4th, 2010 episode. In this one, whoever won would enter the Fatal 4-Way match for the World Heavyweight title at the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view. This Battle Royal was in actuality good. No eliminations occurred until after the commercial break, and it came down to Rey Mysterio and Kane. Mysterio won the match, and he qualified for the world title match at the pay-per-view. While it may be again another random choice for my fantasy home feature, I actually enjoyed this one on the whole. Choice number 19, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal from WrestleMania 30. It had to be chosen here as this is a famous Battle Royal in today's landscape, and it was the first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It had a tremendous ending between Cesaro and the Big Show. Cesaro gave us a real WrestleMania moment when he lifted Big Show up and dumped him over the top rope to win. Big Show even shook Cesaro's hand to congratulate him afterwards. The ending is impressive, and that's my reason why I picked this one. And choice number 20 is the Women's Battle Royal from Evolution 2018. I wanted to include a women's match, but this one for me was the perfect candidate. Reasons being that it contained a bunch of familiar faces from the past, and this bout from WWE's first women's only pay-per-view was a nice little attraction. In this one, we saw Nia Jax come out on top, and she won herself a shot at the Raw Women's title. It was the nostalgia and me wanting to include a women's battle royal that got me to pick this one. Now it's time to look at my picks for Blu-ray exclusives. My first pick is the Countdown to Armageddon match from the October 18th 2000 episode of WCW Thunder. This one played out under Royal Rumble rules, but guys entered every 30 seconds, which was a bit too fast if I'm honest. While it isn't an overall must-see match, I chose it so for those who didn't know that WCW booked a Royal Rumble style match, they could check it out. It came down to Mike Awesome getting helped out by Goldberg, who wasn't an entrant, to win the match, and Awesome earned a WCW World title shot for winning the match. Again, it's maybe not the best match, but it's good to check these things out. Second exclusive pick is the 6-man Battle Royal from the January 19th 2004 edition of Raw. The winner would get the number 30 spot in the 2004 Rumble. We had Goldberg, Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Chris Jericho, Booker T and Rob Van Dam in this one. The match is fine on the whole, and it came down to Goldberg and Orton here, with Goldberg tossing Randy over the top rope and onto Batista and Ric Flair, who tried to interfere, to win himself the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble. A fine and decent Battle Royal, if you ask me. Third exclusive is the Monster Mash Battle Royal from the October 30th 2007 edition of ECW on Sci-Fi. Again, this isn't a 5-star classic. I selected it due to it being an attraction match. Basically, we had 4 of WWE's biggest superstars go at it in a Battle Royal. The match does have a slow pace of sorts, but it's only under 4.5 minutes long, so it doesn't drag along at all, this one. Mark Henry won here after he caught Kane in mid-air and just tossed him over the top rope. Again, it was due to it being an attraction match that got me to pick it as an exclusive. My final exclusive is the 15th anniversary Battle Royal from the December 10th 2007 episode of Raw. This one featured wrestlers from the past 15 years of WWE, and that included guys such as Steve Blackman, Gangrel, Jim Neidhart and Sergeant Slaughter, among others. IRS initially won the match, but his former tag team partner, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, came down and bribed him to eliminate himself and let DiBiase win the match. Strange ending, and maybe not the best match to include, but passable if you ask me. And that's it, guys. That's my fantasy home feature looked at. So what did you all think of the matches I picked? As I said throughout the video, not all of them I picked I enjoyed them on the whole. It was because of certain reasons, such as surprises, title wins, match concepts, etc. And that's what I aim to do when doing future episodes of this little spin-off series. As a heads up, this will only be a few episodes long, as I'm already focusing on the Wrestling Home Media Review series as well, but I wanted to include an additional content for the channel for you all to check out. I hope you enjoyed looking at some imagination for a home release in this episode, and I hope to do it all again soon. Thanks for watching everyone, and bye for now.